The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how new users can sign up for the 211 National Data Platform and access a product key using their user ID. I'm currently at the main page of the developer portal, which can be accessed at api-devportal-dev.211.technology. If you do not have an account on the portal, you can go ahead and sign up for what is called a developer account. The sign up process is one in which you simply provide your email address, confirm a password, and provide us with your first name and last name, enter the characters for a CAPTCHA phrase, and submit. Once submitted, you will receive an automated email response providing you with a user ID to the portal. I've already done that process, so I'm going to now demonstrate what the sign-in looks like for a new user. So I'll come back to the main page, the API Developer Portal. You can see that I am not currently signed in. So I'm going to go in to the sign-in page. You can see that I have set up an account associated to the email support at expound.ca, and I'll go ahead and sign in. So you notice that after we have signed in, we have a number of additional menu items across the top. I'm only going to go into a few of these items. And again, the purpose of this video is to help you get up and running by subscribing to a product and then viewing the data associated to that product using the developer portal. I'll also take a moment to familiarize you with a search tool that allows you to even better visualize your data in a search website. So let's move over here now to products. Now, products is simply a grouping of APIs that are scoped to a specific data set. By data set, we can have data, and keeping in mind that the data for the 211 National Portal includes all 211s that commit their data to the portal. So almost all of the products available in the portal will essentially scope the data down into a few elements, meaning that we limit the amount of data that comes back through the API associated to a particular product. As an example, I'll be demonstrating the 211 Nebraska product, which scopes the national platform data to only that data that is provided by 211 Nebraska. And in addition to that, although not with the 211 Nebraska product, we can also limit the data by geography or type of data. So a product is essentially, in short, a set of data that's being scoped based on a set of elements. I'm going to demonstrate the setup of the 211 Nebraska API, but before I do that, just a quick overview of the APIs. There are only a few APIs, however, both are extremely powerful. The resources API is still in development, but this export API and the search API are very full APIs in the number of operations and range of operations they support. I'm not going to go into each one of these APIs. That'll be left to a future video, but what you should know for this video is the search API and the export API can be configured into a product, and then the data that flows through each of those APIs is configured based on, as I've already explained, a certain set of elements like the contributor of the data, geography, and type of data. Okay, so let's now go back into the products API, knowing now that a product is essentially a grouping of APIs that are scoped to a specific set of data. We've already created the 211 Nebraska product, and this 211 Nebraska product, if we were to take a look at it, we see we have 4 different APIs associated to it. We'll disregard the dev APIs. These are simply development environment versions of the export and search APIs. So the export and search APIs provide access to, as they suggest, you can export all the data associated with the product, and you can also search the data. This allows developers accessing the data using a subscription key to make calls to the API and bring back relevant results and details such as service at location. So we've configured already a product for the Dev and Search API on the 211 Nebraska product. So how do you get started? Well, you simply subscribe to a subscription, or rather you subscribe to the 211 Nebraska product, and as a result, you will be issued a subscription key. So how do you do that? Well, in this box here, you just provide a name, how you'd like to basically refer to your subscription key. So I'm gonna, in this video, I'll say my 211, my first 211 subscription. Okay, and again, this is associated with the 211 Nebraska product, which limits the data set to that contributed by 211 Nebraska. We have terms, they're pretty abbreviated terms at the moment that just acknowledge that the data is provided by 211 and that by subscribing to the product and receiving a key that you agree to comply with all the terms associated with the subscription. We'll go ahead and subscribe. Now at this point, even though I will, as you'll see, have received a product key for my first 211 subscription, we have a manual approval process in behind the scenes. Because a developer can subscribe or apply for a subscription for a product, we have a manual process in behind the scenes in which the platform administrator will receive an email that says essentially, this individual has applied for a key. Here we can see it coming in here by email, and that person would like to have the key to access the data. Now, of course, the 211 who contributes their data must approve any use of their data. Therefore, we have a manual process where the platform administrator has to confirm with the 211 that it's fine to provide a key to that developer. So that process, because I have admin status on the developer portal, I've basically gotten around that with a auto subscription process, meaning that there was no manual process. But just be aware that any application you make for a subscription key will have a manual step involved, and within 24 hours we aim to have approval or notice that you have not received approval back from the 211. So let's go ahead now and let's start using this key. You can see here, and I'll wipe out this key afterwards so it won't be active, but you can see the key that's associated to this product. Okay, so how do I use that? Well, you simply come into you can either come in through the APIs or you can come back to the products. And I'm going to select now, in this case, I'll go back into 201 Nebraska. And what I'd like to do is use this key to do a keyword search on 201 Nebraska's data. So now I've entered into the search API, and you can see there are multiple operations on the search API. This is out of scope for this video, but in short, what these operations are is a series of ways in which to communicate with the API and receive back certain results. So for example, there's a keyword search, a guided search. Once you receive back your search results, you can then pass in a service at location ID and receive back the details of the particular service at location. The user portal actually makes it quite easy for you to get started with your user key. And in this case, I'm going to go down, I'm going to select the keyword search, and you'll see a description of the API. You'll see a description of what the search keyword operation does, as well as the various parameters available on the API and the results that get sent back. But let's ignore that for now. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to hit try it. Now, what you'll want to notice is under the subscription key, you will have, in the case that you have only applied for one product, you will only have one key. So in this case, and I have many keys, I'm going to just select my key for the 201 Nebraska product. The portal knows which keys you have access to. And if you want to know which keys you have access to or what you have subscribed to, you can simply go up into Profile, and this will provide you with access to all of your subscription keys and products. Okay, I'm going to bounce back now here to the 211 Nebraska keyword search API. I'm going to make sure that my 201 Nebraska key is selected. And here, if you read the details here for the keyword search, it would basically tell you to enter one or more keywords in which to search the 211 national platform. Here I'm going to look for, let's search for food. Do a simple search here, and let's search within 10 miles of, now we have to keep in mind that this is the 211 Nebraska product, so let's search for data around Omaha. So for food resources around Omaha, I want to bring back just the top 10 resources if there are 10. And again, they're within 10 miles, and we don't want to skip any values. These are terms that will be more familiar to developers, so I won't go into any detail for this demonstration. We can just leave the headers as is. So the only thing we've configured here is food for keyword. I've told it not to skip any results. I want to find all results within 10 miles of Omaha. And the order by is going to be relevant. So you could select, you could sort by proximity if you chose, but we're going to actually do relevance, which is the scoring. And we'll go ahead and submit. And if I've configured everything correctly, we will get back a 200 response, which means everything went well. And we can see that the actual keyword food was resulted in a search that returned would return 157 resources. Keep in mind that we asked for only 10 results to come back. So we're only going to see 10 results here. But what we have, if we scroll down a little bit further, this is the actual data that comes back. So this is JSON formatted data, which isn't that pretty to look at for a non-developer, but a developer, this is well formatted data that allows them to create external applications such as a website. But we can see here that the start of the data provides IDs, the name of the service. In this case, it was for the food pantry that's delivered by First Lutheran Church for food pantry and thrift store. And we can see all the data that comes back with it. So this is a lot to take in. This is 10 results that have come back, but this is basically a demonstration of how you can use the developer portal to do a search using a key that you have just been provisioned and see what a developer would see when you provide that key. So what we also wanted to do in this case was provide 211 users who are not necessarily the actual implementers of the keys. So typically a 211 would be working with an external developer. In some cases, a 211 may have the technical expertise to develop their own products in-house. But let's assume that this is a smaller 211 that has a developer, vendor, or partner who is going to build out a website. Now, the key problem here is that what I've just demonstrated is a little bit technical. Even though there's a nice user interface, you still are seeing the raw data. What we've done to help 211 business users or those who are not technically inclined is build out a site that allows you to view your own data in a user interface. So if you go to search.211.technology, the first thing you'll be asked, because of course we're accessing your data, you have to supply your subscription key. So that wasn't the subscription key. Let's back out here. We're going to come back. Let's grab this subscription key. I'm going to come back into my profile. Come down to my first subscription. Grab the key. Come back to the testing site. Reload. Now it's asking for the subscription key. We'll hit OK. You are now being challenged with either, do you want to connect to the test environment, live environment? We'll connect to the live environment in this case. And now what we have is the 211 testing site that's being loaded up with your subscription key and will now provide you through this user interface access to the same data. So in other words, this user interface is essentially making the same calls that we were making in the keyword search API. So we'll go back and just emphasize that again, that underneath the 211 Nebraska product, we selected the keyword search operation. Won't go through this again, but what we had was the 211 Nebraska key. We submitted a search on food and searched around Omaha within 10 miles. If we come over to the 211 search site, we have a key now that's going to provide us with access. So let's go ahead and enter Omaha, Nebraska. and enter food. And rather than seeing the data like this, what we're doing is taking that data and presenting it like this. We make a call to the keyword search API, and now we have a listing of search results. And now when we select one of the search results, we're actually then again calling the search API, calling it service at location operation, and bringing back the data from the portal. So that essentially is two ways in which you can view and test the data that comes out of the portal. You can either come at it through the developer platform, or you can take the key that's provisioned through the platform and apply it within the search.211.technology user site for the purposes of testing either test data or live data. So again, the purpose of this video was to just get you up and running with being able to apply for a product key and be able to use that key within both the portal and the search user interface. For any further questions, please reach out to the support at the 211.technology team. Thanks for watching.